Hunger is a problem all across the country, and it's only gotten worse during this pandemic. So chances are that you might know someone who is in need of help, but you may not know what you can do. Well, Chef Simon Majumdar is here to show us how we can make a difference. Thank you so much for being with us.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So I want to start with the issue of hunger. How big of a problem is it in the United States?
Well, it's a huge problem. Even before the pandemic, it was a massive problem. 35 million people in the United States wondering if they were going to eat every night, 10 million of those children. So it was very, very tough. But it's got even worse, obviously, during the COVID period with people losing their jobs. Also during the time where we've had a lot of natural disasters. So people with floods, hurricanes, wildfires, people being displaced from their homes. So right now, there is a huge number of people in the United States who wonder if they're going to eat every night. So I think it's a great time for Americans to do what I think we do best. I'm a new American, is to be kind and to go out there and help them as much as we can.
What are some of the ways that people can help a neighbor in need?
It's a great question because often we want to go out and go to the market or buy fresh produce and even some frozen produce, but we don't know as people are displaced or when they're staying in different places, whether they're going to have refrigeration or freezers. So what I like to do is to suggest what I would do if I was at home and I was in this problem, and that would be to have a lot of dried foods, things that I can use for multiple purposes. Things like oats are a great idea where you can use them for cereal with fruits in the morning, fill people with nutrition, but also use them as breading late at night. Cans are incredible. We often look down on cans, but things like pulses and beans, they work incredibly well to get protein into the system. Dried fruits work really well. Things like packaged milk work perfectly. So I think to look at dried foods, packaged foods that will have a long shelf life that we can really people can really look after in their homes.
And what can people do to make a bigger impact?
Well, that's again a great question. If you look at convoyofhope.org, that I work with a lot, they have fed over 100 million people during this pandemic. We want to set them up so they can feed another 100 million if they have to. We hope they don't. And so if you go on convoyofhope.org, you will find out everything that they do to help people in the United States. I've also gone on, if you go convoyofhope.org/Simon, you'll go on and find some recipes that I've done just using canned and dried goods to show you that even if you think you're struggling, you can still do meals that are really nutritious and really delicious, which is important. We still want to get some joy from our food.
I'm wondering, do you have a favorite recipe to share with us today?
Well, the one that I've done here, I've done a couple that I really love, but the one that I did with canned chicken breasts, which is not something that we often look towards, but I made this chili chicken corn cakes on chickpeas with spinach and tomatoes. So it's packed full of flavor, but also packed full of goodness. You eat some of this in the evening, you're going to feel really terrific. So do go and try this recipe because I think I would be happy to serve this under any circumstances, let alone if I was struggling.
And can you give us those websites just one more time?
Yes, absolutely. So go convoyofhope.org and that'll tell you everything that you know, and they'll tell you about their pandemic planning. They're an amazing organization, so go and check them out. And convoyofhope.org/Simon for these recipes.
All right, Chef, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it. And we'll be right back with more Midday Maryland right after this. Stay tuned.